today. First of all, I'd like to welcome all the participants of our master class, of our lesson, and all the guests who spared the chance and came. Our today's lesson is devoted to the economic analysis of costs. It is mentioned as a theme of our lesson. And what are the targets and what is the main goal of our lesson today? Our target is to continue acquaintance with companies' cost structure. As you see, majority of all commercial companies they operate in difficult market conditions, and their target is to get maximum profit. So the best idea is profit maximization for commercial companies. But in order to be competitive on the market, they need to keep an eye, or to keep an eagle eye on their cost structure. That's why the target of our lesson is to continue getting better acquainted with the company's cost structure. Tasks of the lesson. There are 4 basic tasks. First, we need to understand and to master such important economic notions as fixed costs, average fixed costs, variable costs, average variable costs, total costs and their structure, average costs, marginal costs, and also connection with company results, total revenue, marginal revenue, profit, and average profit. So these are basic notions that we need to consider today. The next idea is to find the relationship between costs, or the next task of our lesson is to find the relationship between costs and company results. The third task, since this is called Master Class, we will also have some practical economic exercises, and with the help of my colleagues from the class, from the 10th A, from the class 10A economic group, we will solve a few economic exercises a little bit afterwards. And the last one target of our lesson is to widen active economic vocabulary with the help of our theme that is called economic analysis of costs. Economic analysis of costs starts with basic definitions, as we considered them during our last lesson. So there are basic definitions of costs, the total costs, fixed costs, and variable costs. As you can see, fixed costs, the word fixed means that they are unchanged within the period of time. We will see the graph of them, how they developed a little bit later. Variable costs, those costs, they depend on volume of production that the company is producing or is selling, depending on the type of the company and their activity. And total cost is by definition the sum of fixed costs and variable costs. Here on this slide is also given. I also given some examples of fixed costs. For example, the costs for rent of a factory office space, salaries of tenured staff. Tenured staff means the staff that is working on a regular basis from, for example, from 9 to 6. And their salary doesn't depend on the volume of production they produce. Also some insurance costs and payment on debts. For example, on loans to the banks. As to variable costs, some examples is raw materials, this is classical example, and power to operate the equipment or energy costs, so they're to be included into the variable costs. Now let's see graphically, in short run, how they develop the costs. I'd like to mention that the costs or the behavior will differ depending on short-run period and long-run period. Today we'll mainly concentrate on short-run period. Short-run, what does it mean? It means the period of 12 months or less than 1 year, or equal to 1 year. If the period is more than 1 year, then according to Russian legislation, we should call long run cost or long-term period. So let's see. This line is called fixed costs, and this is the abbreviation. As we can see from the graph, these costs, they do not change if the volume or if the output changes. So these are fixed costs. The next example is variable costs. You can see graphically how they develop, and total costs as the sum of fixed costs and variable costs. So this is the basic formula that evidently everybody knows who studies economics. If we consider long-run costs or long-term period that is more than 12 months, we can see that there are no fixed costs at all, because all costs vary in time. So by definition, we can say that total costs they are equal to variable costs. The next part of our theoretical part, as I mentioned, will be a discussion or a few words about average costs. What are average costs? Average costs, the basic formula, they are total cost divided by output, or output, in other words, is a quantity that the company produces or selling. And average cost, this concept is widely used in business, because based on average costs, every company can determine at which stage it is located, whether the company is getting profit or facing losses. As to, since we split total cost into two parts, now we are considering also average costs, but we also need to divide them by two parts. Average fixed costs, so they are defined as fixed costs divided by output or by quantity. Quantity and output, they are synonyms. And average variable cost, the formula is the same. Basic formula, average fixed cost, the variable cost divided by quantity. Do you see quite well? Because I'm still feeling maybe some parts are not easy to notice. So, since total costs, basic formula, are sum of fixed costs and variable costs, if we divide left part of the equation and right part of the equation by quantity, then we get that finally total cost divided by quantity would be average costs, fixed cost divided by quantity would be average fixed costs, and variable cost divided by quantity would be average variable costs. So we get similar formula as for total costs, that average costs or average total costs in some books. Let me show you. In some books, average costs, they are also mentioned as average total costs. So they are synonyms. That's why we can say that average costs, they're also sum of average fixed costs and average variable costs. Now let's see the graph. How the costs, or average unit costs, on other part, they're called unit costs because these are costs divided by quantity. How they depend on the volume of production. As you could see, for total cost, when we considered fixed costs, they didn't depend on the volume itself. But if we are talking about unit costs, fixed costs will decline. Sorry, and the slope of the curve would be negative. So that's how average fixed costs developing depending on the volume of production or depending on the output. So this is the line corresponding to average variable cost depending on the quantity, and the next is the sum average total cost is the sum of average variable cost and average fixed cost. What is also important to mention, such types of curves, they are called U-shaped curves. I write this expression because it will be used in the following slides, in one of the following slides. On this slide we can see the relationship between two types of analysis. Total cost, total variable and fixed costs depending on the volume, and average or unit costs depending on the volume. And we also we are considering short-run cost or short-term period that is less than 12 months. So we see the lines corresponding to fixed cost, total variable cost, and the sum of them, total costs. And now the development of unit costs. Just the color of lines is the same. That's why this will make the analysis, how to say, better. You will better understand the nature of costs. And now we can also see one more additional line that is called MC. MC is translated, or the abbreviation for marginal costs. What are marginal costs themselves? So this is the definition. They are additional costs or extra costs for producing one extra unit of output or one extra unit for a company. So there is also important that it does not matter. So they are resulting from the change in the level of production. This will be as the denominator, and in the numerator you will see the change in total cost or variable cost. Just a second. So this is basic formula that I just mentioned. The marginal cost, the change in total cost divided by change in quantity, or change of variable cost divided by quantity. This is a very important rule that we need to make note of. And in case the curve is continuous, so there are no breaks in the lines, we can see that marginal costs, they are derived functions either of total cost or variable costs. And a few slides before, I have mentioned about U-shaped curves. And these are three important rules for U-shaped curves. And this is also important for our cost analysis, that in case marginal costs are less than average cost, then AC curve will drop or decline. Just I will show you that on the next slide, but just to get better understanding of the idea. If during some period of time company calculates its marginal cost or average cost and see that marginal costs are higher than average cost, then AC curve will rise. And if they are equal, marginal cost and average cost, then we are at optimum or at the point of equilibrium or at the curve's minimum. On the next slide, we will see this development. So, what is here? I'd like to mention. There are two important points. Here we see that this is curve called marginal cost. This is less than the curve of average fixed cost and average variable cost, and we see that the average variable cost curve declines, so it's going down. Then they cross or they intersect each other, and then marginal costs are higher than ABC curve. And now we see that MC. Here we see MC is higher than ABC. So the ABC curve will rise. And the same rule for total cost will be valid. So here at this part of line, we see that marginal costs, they are less than average cost, so the curve of average cost will decline or will drop. Here is the point where they cross each other, and we have the minimum of average cost. And here on the right side, from point B, we see that marginal costs, they are higher than average cost. So the line or the curve of average cost will rise. So this is important type of analysis, which will help in analyzing costs and structure for commercial companies. And by the way, what is also important to mention in this graph, that in the minimum points of curve for average cost and point of minimum for average variable cost, so part A will be a little bit to the left side than the minimum point for AC curve. So this is important for maybe for next type of analysis in future for companies. Commercial companies. Next slide is devoted to the relationship between costs and company results. So, for what shall we do cost analysis? How is it connected with company results? So that's why we need to define, we need to find this connection, and some basic economic formulas will help us in doing this. So first, to refresh in your to refresh for you some basic ideas, we need to consider how company results they are reflected in basic mathematical formulas. So total revenue formula is the income that we get through selling output or any products that we produce or that we have bought somewhere else. So total revenue is equal price times quantity. And remember for one product, because if there are some more products, we will have to have sum of total revenues for different products. So this is the first parameter important in our analysis. The next is marginal revenue. The basic formula is similar to marginal costs. And marginal revenue is extra revenue that we get from selling one more additional unit of output. So in the numerator, we are facing change in total revenue. In the denominator, we are facing change in quantity. And the same rule, if the curve or total revenue curve is continuous, the marginal revenue would be the derived function of total revenue. The next important formula is the formula of profit, because as I have mentioned from the very beginning of our lesson or of our master class, the target of any commercial company is to make profit. And that's why to get highest possible profit, companies should keep an eagle eye on their costs. And basic formula for profit is for net income. In some books, it is possible to find this abbreviation, profit, or even this. I do not like using this abbreviation, income, because income is not only profit itself, but in some economic themes it is used as a revenue. But that's why to avoid any confusion, let's use this basic abbreviation, P for profit. So profit is total revenue minus total costs. The next important formula for our analysis is formula for average profit or profit per unit or profit per output, and in majority of books it is mentioned as AR. So, but this is average profit. This is profit divided by total quantity or by output. For some analysis, similar formula is average profit is price minus average cost. So when we compare costs with the price that we are selling the product, we can see where at which point we are now. So whether we are getting profit or whether we are facing losses or whether we are at the optimum point or equilibrium point. And here is the confirmation of the words that I have just mentioned. And in case of U-shaped curves, curves for average costs, we are comparing price and average cost. And if average profit is below zero or price is less than average cost, then we are facing losses. This is mentioned here. If average profit is more than zero or price is above average cost, then we are having profit. And if it is zero or price is equal to average cost, then there is no economic profit. We had discussions about economic profit and accounting profit, economic expenses or economic costs and accounting costs during previous lesson. But what is important to mention here is even if there is no economic profit, company can operate because the company can get its normal profit. That's very important. But this rule is more valid for long-term periods. And here are two conditions of optimal work for commercial companies. There are two basic conditions. As I have mentioned, all commercial companies, they are looking for profit. So their profit should aim at maximum. And the second important point, this is not the part of our master class today, but please make note of this, that a company that is operating on the market is to set up the quantity that is going to produce at the level when marginal costs are equal to marginal revenue. So this is an important part of economic analysis, and these two economical conditions of profit maximizations, they explain why we should do this cost analysis and how costs are connected with company results. So here we have considered, I think, all theoretical parts, and now we are coming to more practical part of our analysis. And the first exercise is for our students. I will ask for your help in solving this particular rather mathematical or economical exercise. Company alpha has got the following function of total cost. TC is equal to 45 plus 26 times quantity minus 18 quantity in power 2 plus 3 times quantity in power 3. And let us find fixed costs, variable costs, average fixed costs, average variable costs, average costs, and marginal costs. So who wants? Ilya, okay.
Can we use our sheet of paper? No?
Not a problem. Let's place it down. If it helps you. You'd like to use this part of the blackboard? Not a problem. The next is average fixed cost.
Average fixed cost is fixed cost divided by who?
Quantity.
It's quantity. And it's 45 divided by quantity. Next.
Average variable cost.
Variable costs. Variable costs divided by quantity.
Average costs, so average total costs.
Total costs divided by
and the last one,
marginal cost. Will be
derived function of variable cost or total cost. Doesn't matter. So 26 minus 36 times quantity plus 9. Okay. Let's check the answers. Just a second. Answers. So fixed cost 45, variable cost 20. Average fixed cost, average variable cost, average cost, and marginal cost. So let's compare the results. I think they are the same. And what is important in this part of practical exercise is that we mentioned earlier that fixed costs, they do not depend on volume. So they are here, irrespectively of the further function. If we do not see quantity, then these are fixed costs. So fixed costs are here. And the rest is the variable cost. So yeah, you have done quite well. Thank you for your help. Take a seat. The next exercise. Exercise 2, practical type, practical exercise. Average total cost of company beta constitute $35 per unit. Average profit is $10 per unit. Total output or total production is 200 units. And let's find total revenue of company beta. Who wants? Anybody wants? Okay, Alexander, please. Where would you like to write? Because it will be easier to check answers afterwards. Okay, let's see.
So first, we can find
total costs. Okay, please try. Let's find total costs.
Average cost
times. Oh, well, multiplied by quantity. Okay, let's write down. Total cost, average cost. 7,000. And what about measuring units? 7,000 of what? Okay, please write down. Don't forget. So this is the first. Why not? Second. Average profit is profit divided by quantity, so out of this formula we'll find profit itself. So profit will be average income of average profit times quantity. 10 times 200. In which units is it measured? Don't forget it.
So now,
Do like this. First, second.
total revenue.
Total revenue.
Total cost plus profit.
Okay, let's check answers. Good. So first, we are finding total costs here. Yes, the 7,000. Second, we are finding profit. Good. And then we are finding out of basic formula. Profit is total revenue minus total cost. We are finding total revenue. Good. So this exercise has been solved correctly. Thank you for your help. Take a seat. The next one. So let's try to fill in the following table, but we will not fill all the missing parameters, but we need to find only one parameter, x. So based on data given below, please find the missing parameter or missing variable x. So we are here in this chart or in this table quantity, total costs, and marginal costs. Just have a look, please check, and who wants to try? Elena, okay, you are welcome, please. Where would you like? On this blackboard. Why don't you want to try here? It's quite interesting to make notes like this.
So we must find average costs. It is total costs divided by output. We know marginal costs. And we can use the formula total costs divided by
Change in total cost divided by
change out.
change in output. Good.
We don't know total costs when quantity 15.
Let's call that there y, yes? We introduce a new parameter y. Good.
Then,
How did you get to 75? Just please explain.
here it is 5.
Here is
and
5.
We
Multiply.
15 divided by 5.
So 75 is 15 multiplied by 5. Good.
And then divide and
So I will help you. I will erase this data. Just a second.
and it is not all. Then
Here
we
we
find
see 300. Yes, 300. Good.
and then I find average costs. And then just
That is 15. So here we can write down 15. And just one interesting point, let's mention that AC for
20.
For 15 here, yes?
No, it is.
For 20. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
It was my mistake. You are right. Sorry. I was looking at a different part. So here. So I made the same mistake as together. 15. Let's check the answers, the solution. Just a second. The same idea, marginal cost 20. So we find total cost and then we find marginal cost and average cost. So, good. Very good. Thank you, Elena. Thank you for your help. Please take a seat. So, and maybe one last exercise for you. Maybe this will be your homework. This will be your homework exercise. Total output of company Gamma is 2,000 units. Total revenue $250,000. Fixed cost $70,000. Variable cost $130,000. And our target is to find average profit of company Gamma. So this will be your homework for the next lesson. So as a result of our today lesson, we have noticed the following, that we have considered basic notions and all important notions as fixed cost, variable cost, marginal cost, average fixed cost and average cost in total, and so on. We have seen the connection or the relationship between cost analysis and company results, and we have also solved some practical exercises, and I think we have widened our vocabulary. So thank you for your attention, and if any questions, you are welcome to ask. Thank you. That's it.